Okay, let's talk video as it pertains to your marketing strategy. Now, I guarantee you've heard the term, we need video, thrown out there as if it's like a silver bullet that's somehow gonna like fix your marketing strategy. But I think it's worthy to consider that video isn't really a monolith. I mean, consider all the different types of videos that there are.
Thinking up the
It's caring about
What is DollarShaveClub.com?
Google is a place that
Slack just looks really cool, like something you'd actually...
So what does that mean for you in trying to develop your own video strategy? Well, let's just talk about 3 genres that I think work pretty well with most of my clients. Those are YouTube Explainer, Doki Style, and Webinar. Okay, before we go into these 3 styles, I do want to point out one common thread that goes between all of them, and that is they need to be short. Or as Shakespeare would say, brevity is the soul of wit. You need to be optimizing your videos for length because long videos don't get watched and videos that don't get watched are wasteful. Now, it is true that as someone moves farther down your marketing funnel, they may be more inclined to watch a longer video, but in general, anything longer than 2 minutes is wasteful and you've already lost them. So with that in mind, let's go to the YouTube Explainer. Welcome to the YouTube Explainer. What I like about this format is that through editing, you can make this decently concise without really sacrificing the conversational one-to-one approach. The other great thing is that with an investment in good equipment, such as a stationary mic and stationary camera with a consistent set design, you set yourself up to manufacture a series so that it's easy to just pop in, record, send it out, and have people come back time and time again to your brand and really connect with you on a level that you can't do with anything else. Now, there are 2 things to consider when producing this style of video. One is the initial investment. You want to make sure that you have a room or set that's consistent along with a good camera and microphone. Also, you want to make sure that you have an editor either on staff or budgeted a contractor like me that can come in and edit the video so that you can push it out because there is a lot of editing work. The second consideration is not everyone's really great in front of the camera, and this style of I'm talking directly to a camera and I need to make you feel like you know, like, and trust me can be very daunting, and there's better ways to produce video that perhaps are a little bit more relaxed to the person on the other end of the camera. What I really love about Doki Style videos is the talent tends to be just way more comfortable because you're just having a conversation with someone on the other end of the camera. Hi, my name is Stan Hall, and I am the owner of The Stan Hall, LLC. The luster of the Doki Style approach is really this 2-camera setup that works in symphony with B-roll and music to set mood and tone, to craft the message that you want to say with your video. The bonus of it is that there's no rigidity of a script, and so you get people just being themselves and talking in their own voice, which just comes off as very genuine and authentic. I think where Doki Style can struggle is that if your video strategy is we need a lot of videos now, Doki Style just takes a while to produce. Now, that said, Doki Style is really great for things like testimonials, brand and positioning statements, evergreen videos, anything that you're going to get a lot of mileage out of. But if you need to pump a video out quick with information or market changes or whatever else, you might be better off with kind of a hybrid webinar approach. Okay, so before we go too far down the webinar train, let's divorce this version of webinar from your mind. You know the webinar I'm talking about, this one, where your hand seems to disappear, it's very low quality, and the person doesn't ever really seem to look at the camera, and the audio quality and video quality is terrible, and it's just seventh circle of hell. What we want to do is still focus on high quality video, and we can do that with the webinar format. The reason why the webinar format's important is 1, they're quick and easy to produce relatively, and 2, you can get a lot of information behind you in the slide. Okay, let's set some ground rules here. Your webinar doesn't have to be live, and in fact, I would encourage you never to do one live unless you absolutely needed a Q&A element or something. Now, number 2 with webinar is your webinar is only going to be as good as your slide design, so really make sure to focus on that and don't just have some analyst or someone throw together a pitch deck at the last minute. Slide design really matters in order to stand out from the rest of the crowd on professionalism. It's not 2004, we don't need slides that still look like it. Now, some common problems with webinars is that they're going to run long even if they're professionally edited and scripted. It just has to do with the nature of the beast here. What you can do is set yourself up to do lists of 5 or 3. Here are the 3 things that matter about this topic. putting music under the webinar to drive it along and make sure you don't go too long. And if necessary, sure, you might need to produce a 20-minute webinar, but you don't need to sacrifice video or slide content for that. All of that said, top of funnel webinars may not be super engaging unless the content cannot be found anywhere else, and that's where you make the trade-off with whether or not you should do a webinar. Now, I know I've thrown a lot at you, and I know I'm running long on time. The last thing I'll say here is, I hope I made it clear, don't do video for video's sake, be intentional. There's enough unintentional bad video out there that we don't really need anymore. So take the time, script it out, work with someone, maybe like me. Which, if you would like to get in touch, you can find me at bstanhall.com. You can talk about your video strategy. Here's to a better looking digital world.